Major news at the moment, to be reported on this hot summer day of July 1973, is at Kowloon Tong, where there are tremendous traffic jams due to the funeral procession of the Little Dragon, the founder of GungFu style, Jeet Kune Do, who has taken Southeast Asia by storm as the most popular martial arts movie star on his rise to Hollywood stardom, died suddenly 4 days ago. Earlier today, thousands thronged the funeral hall to pay their respects and see their hero for the last time. His remains will be transported to the U.S. for final interment.
My beloved Seagull, Grandmaster, Brandon, here I am again. And it is sad that every time when I come here, some of the Jeet Kune Do practitioners are leaving this earth. I suppose the spiritual consolation is that they are with you. 40 years after your passing, your art of Jeet Kune Do has spread to virtually every corner of this globe. And your dream of bringing the Chinese martial arts to the world has been fulfilled. Although there are differences and separations among us, I do believe that one day we shall all unite. Just as you have quoted that we're one big happy family under the sun. Shortly after your passing, actors such as Ho Chung-dong, Sing-dong, and Chuck Norris followed your cinematic quest. Later came Van Damme, Seagull, and Lei Ling-Git. They are all excellent martial artists in their own right, but they do not represent Jeet Kune Do. And despite of you being the pioneer of bringing martial arts cinema to the world and paving the way for other martial arts films, the development of Jeet Kune Do theme movies after the short passing of Brandon has come to a standstill. In fact, for quite some time. Although you have left no will, I do believe that you will want your followers to follow your cinematic quest, as it was evident in your last picture, The Game of Death. I felt that it is my duty to follow your code. That knowing is not enough, one must apply. Willing is not enough, one must do. To continue the regimen, to continue to develop Jeet Kune Do theme movies, to share the art with fellow martial artists, to honor you, and to make contributions to the martial arts world. Seagull, Brandon, I wish you well. I know that your spirits are always with us.
首創截拳道，以無法為有法，以無限為有限，苦練與苦修，登峰幾造極。唐山大兄精武門，死亡遊戲猛龍過江，一片龍爭虎鬥，轟動全球。
Bruce Lee, the big boss. Mr. Fury, the Chinese connection. We are not sick, man. Return of the dragon. You turn lung, tongue lung. The game of death. Every motion picture is number one. Enter the dragon. Dun 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 dun. Picture shock the world like what? Number one. Bruce Lee documented via cinema.
So you finished your movie?
It took 3 nights. Tried to rest up after that.
How was the shoot?
Yeah, it was alright. It was in LA, and so it was not in-house. But the DP, he keeps making things up. In fact, I didn't even think he read the script. Well, there's never a perfect shoot, but it is in the can, as they used to say. I guess nowadays, they say it's in the chip. You know, it's never a perfect shoot.
What's next then? Chasing the Dragon Part 3? As far as producing is concerned, you've been around the block. What has changed since you started?
Technology.
Yeah. Movies nowadays, full of special effects.
Way too much, I tell you. You know, the way they make movies now, you can't even tell the real from the phonies. You can't. But I guess the audience, they don't care. Right? They just want to see somebody get beat up, lots of action. You know. But let me say something here. Our Mr. Jackie Chan is getting old. So better get on the wagon and be in his next movie. And the rest of them, Yin Biao, Yin Hua, Hong Gambo, they are the Hong Kong dying breed. In fact, I'm wondering who will take over? Who's going to take over the throne and with what arsenal?
Well, perhaps your turn has come.
You know, I don't really think so much it's my turn, because the entire distribution process has changed drastically. I remember in the old days, my grandma used to take me to matinee, the black and white film days. Okay? Kwan Tak Heng, Sek Kin, and then later came Bruce Lee. Those days, if you didn't go to the theater, you don't get to see your favorite hero. VHS tape was not in existence. Later it came. Now you have VHS tapes. But before, we had a theatrical window. Then we had pay-per-view. Then we have the VHS tape, and then regular television. But not anymore. Now everything is happening all at once. Theater, you know, it was a big movie, right? But at the same time, the same day it hits the theater, it also hits the cable, streaming, okay? Blu-ray, everything is all happening at the same time. So it has changed drastically. Technology has changed that, okay? And also, if the technology don't take you to the audience, they don't see you. Simple as that. You gotta stay with the technology. But also the technology has made somebody who's mediocre or somebody who's great, it doesn't matter. It's changed so much.
Yeah, the rate of modern technology has progressed tremendously. It's kind of scary. You think it can influence martial arts?
Oh, absolutely. Bruce Lee was one example. Whether he used technology or not, if he's still alive, he would have been astronomical. Very few people can catch up with him. He was way ahead of his time, even now. You know? And I think, if I may say so, if Bruce Lee's still alive today and Muhammad Ali didn't get Parkinson, though both of them would change the entire course of filmmaking, athletics, martial arts, sports, fitness, even cultural values. I'm sure of it.
Well, too bad it didn't happen. So what's been happening with your nightmares? I know you've had them for a while.
Oh yeah, they're still there. But I don't worry about it too much now. You know, in the beginning, I really wanted to try to find out what it meant. But the more I tried, the more confusing it got. And then it took on a whole new meaning.
What does all this mean to you?
Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
That's not you.
Hello. We meet again. Nana, I was not in chasing the dragon. I was in combat Miguel. Let me formally introduce myself to all of you latecomers. I am a former Chief Inspector Buku of the Metropolitan Paris Police Department. I have finally put away the infamous Blue Panther, Monsieur Pardon, behind bars forever. And since I have retired from police work and also star as full-man Chur, a white man playing a yellow man, I decided to repay my disrespect and stereotyping to Dr. Z as a servant, who is a yellow man playing a yellow man. And since I am retired from police work, Wukong, I'm afraid, is out of a job. But I'm sure he can find plenty of work in the People's Republic of China. Excuse me? He is coming, sir. How you doing, sir? I see our third and final guest has not arrived. Indeed, Buku. Would that be all, sir? That will be all. Well, in that case, sir. I think our third and final guest has finally arrived for the evening. You must be Mr. Jones. I am at your service, and Dr. Z and his guests are waiting.
Who the hell are you? I came for the Triple Crown meeting. Is this the place or what?
Yes, sir. Even Wukong would know that this is the place. Oh, by the way, I am the former Chief Inspector Buku, and now the butler.
What? You don't look like
Jacques Cousteau? No. Jacques Cousteau is the copycat. I am the original. Merci beaucoup. At your service.
Man, you come out right out of a comic book. You Z and Gabor? Are you two here to lick my shoes or are you here to fight?
Have some tea, Mr. Jones. And please have your seat.
I don't drink tea, and I'd rather stand. As a matter of fact, I'd rather fight.
How was your flight, Mr. Jones?
It's terrible. Accounting class sucks. Wait, how do you know I flew up here?
Mr. Jones, make yourself at home. We have plenty of time.
Wait a minute. I recognize you. You're the cat that won the first World GungFu Championship back in New York City. Damn, but that was way back. Way back.
Now that you're all here, I suppose I can be on my way? Would that be all, sir?
That will be all, beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I wish you all a wonderful and productive evening.
Good night, beaucoup.
Good night, all.
Now that we're all here, I suppose we can get started, Dr. Z.
Triple crown, meaning being world champion, having no losses, and the most knockout record. I adopted this name for our meeting so that we can discuss, share, and demonstrate our
Hold it,
talents.
hold it. I did not fly up here to discuss anything. I came here to fight. What kind of nonsense is this?
I suspect that you did not read the invitation thoroughly.
Yeah. Inviting an MMA fighter, a champion, to talk? That's the biggest bullshit I heard all day. Can't be serious.
There are formalities, Mr. Jones. We'll get to spar later.
No disrespect, old timer, but we fight. We don't spar. I don't think I should fight you anyways. I'm the reigning US champ with the shot at the world title. So I don't think that would be you.
Drink up, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, what sets MMA apart from the other martial arts?
We kick ass. The winners are superior. We don't discuss, share techniques. You crazy if you go to the octagon to talk. People want to see you fight. They want to see you win. They want to see you knock out the other guy. Now I know you fought in the ring and you have a pretty good record. But remember, that was a long time ago.
Well, since you're here, Mr. Jones, how about you expand on the histories of MMA? Enlighten us.
The roots of MMA trace back to the ancient sport of pancration. The UFC was originally promoted to find the best effective martial arts combat, unarmed situations. MMA was coined in 1993. Way back in the late 1960s to early 1970s, the concept of combining the elements of multiple martial arts was popularized by Bruce Lee. Lee said that the best fighter is someone who can adapt to any style, to be formless, to adopt an individual own style and not following any system of styles. The UFC called Bruce Lee, the father of mixed martial arts. Now you take a little something from everything. You take good things from every discipline, use what works, and throw away the rest. Also, the MMA has come up with the technique of ground and pound. Now that ground and pound is effective when knocking down the opponent and beating the shit out of him, primarily with your fists and elbows. Also used for submission holds. Although not a traditional style of hitting, ground and pound has made its way being very tactic. Used from Royce Gracie to Mark Coleman to Frank Shamrock. See, these days, the traditional fighting, every time when opponents come close, the referee feels like he needs to interfere. It's whack. See? So I know my history.
What do you think? Is that accurate?
Obviously, the Bruce Lee part needs clarification.
How so? You Jeet Kune Do practitioners don't even compete. As far as I'm concerned, it's us who gives them credit. Not you, so the followers or the cronies.
What does Jeet Kune Do mean to you?
Well, I already told you. You take everything from every discipline, use what's the best, throw away what you don't need, and there you have it, Jeet Kune Do.
Not quite. What does the word Jeet mean?
I already told you. What part of Jeet do you not understand?
Jeet is a word that came from the Chinese Cantonese dialect, and it means to intercept. That is when an opponent is preparing to hit you. You strike first with perfect timing.
Yeah, I know that. But can you do it? Bruce Lee could do that. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are just attaching his name to whatever you do. It is us that put his name out there.
Mr. Jones, please empty your cup so that you could taste my cup.
Yeah, whatever. I already heard of that. So, go ahead. What?
To achieve Jeet Kune Do, one must throw away the unessential movement, chiseling away the unnecessary movement of an attack, to keep it simple, direct, and effective. And it's contrary to what you have said about adding more stuff that makes combat more effective. It is actually the other way around, Mr. Jones. So when you practice Jeet Kune Do, less is more, and not your own definition of taking everything together, combining it, throw away the rest, and call it your own. That is not Jeet Kune Do. This is a contradiction. Please do understand this. If there's anything you want to gain from this meeting, and that is the true meaning of Jeet Kune Do. Now, you may be a good fighter, a champion, but you do not understand Jeet Kune Do, nor do you practice Jeet Kune Do.
I'm getting tired of this discussion. I want to fight.
Patience is a virtue. You'll be a better man.
It's in my ass. I'm gonna kill something.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before. But turns out even he had to wait. Look at you. So frustrated. For what? You call yourself a champion, but you've already been defeated without even throwing a punch. Let's just listen for a change. I'm going to provide my input. And don't forget, I was a fighter when you were still in diapers. The history of Kung Fu goes back 4,000 years. It doesn't just start in 1993. It's a comprehensive system as well as a way of life. It consists of both internal and external training.
Turn bông trà pha, thông chi bài Phật, si chi trường thiên, sam chi hương, yat, yi, sam. Breathe, grab, break, block, palm, chum pew, ding, box out, two, box out, quad, top, up, 分 所龙抛腿 right leg step 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 step
External training includes the hands, the eyes, the body, and stances. Internal training includes the heart, the spirit, the mind, breathing, and strength. Perfecting the fist and foot. Perfecting the weapons. Practicing fighting techniques with one and multiple opponents. Unlike MMA, where you're only tied up in a cage. In addition, traditional Chinese schools of martial arts are built upon a system of ethics called Wu Di, or martial morality, which deals with two aspects, morality of deed and morality of mind. Morality of deed concerns social relations, which stress the quality of humility, sincerity, courtesy, and trust.
師傅，係陸師傅。黃師傅，陸師傅你好。啊，黃師傅，你精氣神都好足夠喎。唉，托賴。咁啊，聽講你做咗呢個國際武術總會嘅會長。係啊。咁啊，電影方面有啲咩發展咧？從來都冇停止過。我哋喺我哋中國嘅南寧，我設咗個片場。另外喺東莞咧，就同政府合作咗一個影城，所以我哋出年會拍一部大電影，一部民初嘅大電影，同埋一個係教育性嘅影集，就係24下。喺美國嗰啲咧，
我美國咧一路都係教緊拳，咁啊近年來咧呢個 MMA mixed martial art 咧就變咗好流行啦。但係好可惜喺呢個台，嗰啲後生仔個個都淨係只不過想學技巧嘅啫。
我嘅睇法咧就覺得武德係最重要，跟住先到武功。武德方面，我哋中國孔子嘅禮儀都要去跟足我哋。拜師就正式要跪斟茶嘅拜師。咁啊，對所謂尊師重道，另外就當然要孝順父母啦，奉公守法、敬老扶貧，呢啲係我哋最主要嘅。
黃師傅，我哋揾日飲茶再傾過啦。
好。
Morality of mind is meant to cultivate the inner harmony between the emotional mind and the wisdom mind, which takes on the qualities of courage, patience, endurance, perseverance, and willpower, with the ultimate goal of reaching Wu Wei, or no extremity, when both wisdom and emotions are in harmony with each other. In contrast to MMA, it's only a sport with spectators thirsty for blood. The practice of Kung Fu is a much more comprehensive system with the goal of making this a better world.
That's deep. However, we gotta settle this by mortal combat. So what do you say, Z? Are you up for it, or you just wanna talk too?
Well, obviously, we're here to prepare to do both. But in order for you, or for me, or for Sifu Gabor to walk away here with some enlightenment, I think we need to continue the dialogue and take notes.
Fine. Shoot.
For the past 40 years after the founder's passing, there has been a lot of questions and confusion regarding the art of Jeet Kune Do. In 1965, after taking a challenge to fight, Lee discovered that his fighting ability was inadequate. So he decided to come up with a better fighting system that would end the fight efficiently in the quickest time. In 1967, he founded Jeet Kune Do to intercept the opponent's preparation to attack you, hence fighting in the most simple, direct, and effective manner. To Jeet is also an ancient Taoist concept. However, the art was not meant to be traditional or chiseled in stones. It was meant to be a self-discovery process.
How you feel?
Remember this spot? This is where we were supposed to have our first picnic. You almost stood me up.
Stood you up? You mean that was a date? Yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't have said it. What you gotta say? This is nice. Steady, steady. Well, those kicks do look fluid.
Thank you.
Yeah, been practicing, huh?
A little bit.
Of course.
I gotta keep up. Well, I better get going. Hit the showers before I go off to work.
Of course.
What are you doing later?
I have a couple of early classes, and then I'll be home finishing the script.
I'll see you then.
Don't get lost now. However, the world at large is looking for something that's tangible, especially from Bruce Lee, compounded by his philosophy of using no way as way and having no limitation as limitation. The art is misinterpreted. You cannot use the philosophy as the methodology. The philosophy is the foundation, but the method is the Ji, or to intercept. So I'm in awe all these years when some of the Jeet Kune Do practitioners out there who explain what Ji is, they say it is freedom, it is self-expression, it is not traditional, it is what works, what don't work. Ji is simply to intercept. That's it. Nothing more. Plain and simple.
This is very interesting, Dr. Z. Go on.
The fighting techniques of Jeet Kune Do are to intercept, and that is by the use of the lead side weapons with speed, footwork, timing, stop hits, and broken rhythm. The central theme is simply to simplify.
Come in really quick with all my strikes. Yeah, so.
Not to add on extra baggage like some practitioners are doing out there.
But what if you're pinned down in a cage? What do you do then?
That is making the fight complicated. That's not a good position that you want to be in. But if you are in that situation or that predicament, you do whatever you can to fight by using even unexpected ways to break away.
Aside from intercepting techniques, what other techniques do you have in your arsenal?
Aside from the intercepting techniques, and also during times when the intercepting opportunity do not present itself, there are also many what we call 連消大打, or simultaneous attack and counter techniques. As well as 反擊, counter fighting techniques that can be utilized.
Well, let's check it out.
Okay. So in Jeet Kune Do, one of the things that sets it apart from the other arts is its elusive footwork. It is explosive, it works on a broken rhythm, and it's very fast. Not so much like a boxer that dances around all the time, but in and out is very quickly. So you bridge the gap very quickly. So in Jeet Kune Do, basically you're always on the balls of your feet, you're always moving forward and backwards. You use the footwork to move in, to move out, to sidestep left, right. And you can also use this as a setup. So basically we spend a lot of time on the foot, more on the balls of the feet. The feet never crosses. In traditional martial art, you see the crossing of this. In Jeet Kune Do, we never cross the feet. You can all think about, almost think about Jeet Kune Do as an evolution. It's a constantly changing art, depending on the individual. So there's one exercise that we do, it's called bridging the gap. I guess I can have
See, took a board, if you don't mind, if you stand over here. I want you to come and attack me. Come at me, whatever arsenal you have. Come at me, quick, quick, quick. So as you can see, the Jeet Kune Do footwork is very fast and elusive. It's not so easy to hit a Jeet Kune Do practitioner unless you got him up close where he has no place to run. Okay, because of the special features of Jeet Kune Do with the elusive footwork. Now, when you will try to hit me with your lead weapon, or lead hand, or lead leg, okay, you couldn't get to me. If you couldn't get to me with the lead, never mind the rear where a lot of traditional system is set up to do. Okay, they set up with the lead hand and then bombs away from the rear weapon. But you see how slow the rear weapon is, unless somehow you chop the guy in the corner and they can't move.
Now, if you don't mind, I would like to show you how us MMA fighters do it. Now, everything that we do is for reality combat. Everything is useful. Whether you're in the cage, whether you're in the streets, it doesn't matter. You put down the target no matter what. I would like to demonstrate some techniques, but I promise I won't, hurt you. Plain touch.
Go ahead.
So what do you think?
Not bad. Well, this was stimulating. Now I have questions for you. How do you train for a fight?
Well, my goal is to maximize my skill development while minimizing the amount of stress damage done to my body along the way. Any idiot can go into the gym day in, day out, train their guts out. But the better way is to train smarter than harder. I organize my days, I split them. There's days of high intensity, there's days of low intensity. Rather than spending at least half the week in a fatigued state. So I'm able to perform 100% and get the most out of my high days. The low days could be spent concentrating on my grappling, my striking, ground and pound training sessions on separate days.
Well, that sounds good. But do you think what works you inside the ring can also be effective outside in the street as well.
Whether I'm in a cage or not, I will give anyone, a tough time.
Well, I'll give you credit for that. But people in the street, they don't fight fair. They will resort to anything. Knives, brass knuckles, concealed weapons, stilettos, guns. My advice is for you not to wrestle, not to fight on the ground. The closer you are to an opponent, the more danger that you're going to be in. My advice is for you to fight standing up and flee when you have to. That is what survival means in the street.
Well, that's not me. I don't back down ever from anyone. If I'm on the ground, that's where I be.
Well, I'll give you credit for being fearless. But let's say that you are on the ground with one guy, and then on top of you, the 3 hoodlums. You're not going to get up anyway.
Maybe you got a point there. Perhaps it's best to fight standing up. But one-on-one, that's my department.
Well, you'll get a chance here.
Sifu Gabor, your input on Jeet Kune Do.
Well, I think the system is incomplete. Bruce Lee died just too soon. If he'd lived, I'm sure he would have evolved this into a complete system. But I am delighted you have a curriculum to follow. Most beginners do get lost, and it's a pity. Unlike GungFu, which is well established, whereas Jeet Kune Do is not. In GungFu, we have sets and we have weapons. Does the art of Jeet Kune Do include weapons?
Jeet Kune Do can adopt and use any weapon.
I knew you were going to say that. How so?
Well, obviously, you need to know the individual characteristics of the weapon. But in terms of striking, in terms of angles, a lot of weapons have the same similarities. In addition, you can use the intercepting, you can use the stop hit, and you can use the broken rhythm for the weapons as well. I do have a question for you. In what art do we have the stop hit? Aside from the Jeet Kune Do. Western fencing. As Bruce Lee was exploring fencing, he said the Jeet Kune Do is actually fighting without the sword, as in fencing. That was his process of discovery. Back in the 60s. Too ancient, huh? Well, the man was way ahead of his time.
Show me.
This I gotta see.
Sifu Gabor, after you.
My favorite weapon is Guando. Now I'm going to show you a different weapon. Now, this is a spear. It's a very different weapon. but it's super fast.
Well, I guess I have a few favorite weapons. This, as you know, is the Chinese traditional three-sectional staff. This could be used as a long weapon or a short weapon. It has tremendous power when you swing it along. It could be used as one half weapon, single weapon, long weapon. So this is a pretty versatile weapon. It also has the straight angles of attack. It also has circular angles of attack. So this is one of my favorite as far as traditional weapon is concerned. Then my other favorite, more coincide with Jeet Kune Do, is the whip. It is fast, it is light, and it kind of works in a broken rhythm. Okay, it is elusive. So this is my favorite weapon.
Well, I got a favorite weapon as well.
I thought you only fight in the ring and don't use any weapons.
Sticks are also light and they're very fast. When you strike, you don't need that much pressure. Sticks does it alone. Sticks itself is very useful, it's very powerful. The break bones could destroy the opponent very easy. It's my favorite weapon.
Mr. Jones, since what we have here are some training weapons we use in the martial arts, contrary to some of the traditional weapons that was used once upon a time for real combat, perhaps we can have a little friendly match without hurting each other?
Sure.
So there, what we have is a Chinese favorite saying in weapons, 一寸長,一寸強, 1 inch longer, 1 inch stronger. 一寸短,一寸險, 1 inch shorter, 1 inch more dangerous. So there's an illustration. Your weapon is still a foot away from my finger where my weapon is touching your finger now. Hence I can disarm you. Okay? So what happens when you disarm a lion? You take away its claws, the lion becomes a pussycat.
Gabor. Dr. Z can intercept. I can ground and pound. What are you good at?
Well, have you tried sticky hands? That would be a good skill to have.
I can't say I have, but it better be good.
Adding more stuff.
Now, in traditional GungFu, this is a tongue sao, this is a bong sao, and this is a feng sao. Now put your hands up, and let's rotate. Now from this position, I can block you anytime and attack. You see? Now you try it.
Man, what is this? I can't even put my hands up. I can't even tell my other opponent to put his hands up. This ain't for me, man. This is whack. Look at this shit.
Look at you, big boy. Giving up already, huh?
Oh, really? Want to see something smart ass? Huh? No disrespect intended. But if this is real fighting combat, if I was behind points, I could still overpower you.
Well, you only like power if you're a beginner.
What's so funny? Huh? You two talk shit about me, want to criticize me? Huh? What's the use of doing moves if you can't have power to carry it out? Huh? I'll show you what power's like.
Now that we are gearing towards our big fight. But before we do that, I'd like to just talk a little bit about demonstration, which you do not do. You only fight. So I guess the question is actually imposed on you. What would you consider a good demo versus a bad or phony demo?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. There's actually a lot of phony artists out there. So first of all, the spectator should inspect the apparatus, make sure it's real and strong. Then, you should demonstrate what this demo can do to an ordinary person and what injuries it can cause. Then proceed with the demo, without any tricks or magic. That's my suggestion.
Wait, speaking of demo, the famous 1-inch punch by Bruce Lee. Can you do that?
All right, so I am going to show you what the MMA guys are missing.
You may want to take your shirt off for this. So I want you to brace yourself. Put this close to your chest. Okay? Brace yourself because I'm going to be punching it. Are you ready?
What the hell was that?
All right, now I'm going to show you what else you guys are missing. Hold it again. Hold it tight just like before. Hold it tight. See what it is? It's two types of different power. One is a punch-through power. The other one, power at one focal point. In this case, right in the pit of your stomach. This in GungFu is called Ging. Just like the practitioner that break the stagger breaks and only break the ones he selected and not the other ones.
Not bad for old man.
You got power in the bag. I want you to feel my power in the glass, and also in the pieces after it shatters.
Are you serious?
Bravo, bravo. I haven't seen that for a long time.
Well, you know what? I've been your guinea pig for the last hour. I think it's time for Mortal Kombat. show you the powers.
by using even unexpected ways to break away.
I'll fight you MMA style too.
I know both of you can fight. But you got away with biting me. I challenge you to a real fight with weapons.
Speed, accuracy, power, simple, direct, effective. Jeet Kune Do and attributes that is ahead of its time and out of this world. We unfurl, follow with the Jeet Kune Do the world over as we come together, shoulder to shoulder. Time to raise the bar and go way beyond.
Today's liaison is the wooden dummy, Mok In Jung. Let me demonstrate. Huzzah! I'll be back after I fix these fingers.
Call the cop. Are you Ninja Nate? You're Dr. Z. Go!
Position, block your face, punch. Good. Again, block your face, punch.
Kick! Go!
Good.
With me, kick!
Punch.
Kick! Attention! Wow. So, in the island, you do flame throwing, parkour, lightsabers, and JKD.
And in Los Angeles, you do Jeet Kune Do teaching and filmmaking.
That's right.
We should work together.
Working together. Well, that's been the problem for decades. If we could only solidify, putting aside your personal preferences, prejudice, likes and dislikes, then your mind will cease all conflict and come to rest. In this silence, we shall boldly go where no one has ever gone before.
Found words, Dr. Z. I'm with you.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm on a film shoot now, and our director got really sick. They're looking for a replacement. Think you're interested?
Can I see the script? How was that?
Oh yeah.
That looked excellent.
All right, guys, it is a wrap.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Bruce Lee, born in San Francisco, 1940, founder of Jeet Kune Do. But that's another story. Can't defeat his repertory, best in his category. Use no weight as a weight, and not sorry. Having no limitation as a limitation. 20th century top 100. So amazing, the most influential man of the world. There he is, we lost a legend, icon who will forever be missed.
師祖李小龍首創截拳道，以無法為有法，以無限為有限，苦練與苦修，登峰幾造極。唐山大興精武門，死亡遊戲猛龍過江，一片龍爭虎鬥，轟動全球。
Yeah. Bruce Lee, the big boss. Mr. Fury, the Chinese connection. We are not sick, man. Return of the dragon. You turn lung, tongue lung. The game of death. Every motion picture is number one. Enter the dragon. Dun 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 dun. Picture shock the world like what? Number one. Bruce Lee documented via cinema. Too bad he had to go so young.
中國武術少林派，武當派，外家拳，外家拳，唔理你係乜嘢拳，如來神掌天殘腳，無影腳，鬼影腳，唔理你係乜嘢腳，最勁嘅都係你三腳。
Yeah. Yeah. Bruce Lee, speed, accuracy, power, simple, direct, effective. Jeet Kune Do and attributes that is ahead of his time and out of this world. We unfurl, followers of Jeet Kune Do the world over as we come together, shoulder to shoulder. Time to raise the bar and go way beyond. What?
師祖李小龍獨一無二，有史以來第一個中國人帶住真功夫走遍全世界。師祖李小龍英年早捷，做截拳道嘅門徒，我哋可唔可以有著堅忍不拔嘅精神，去繼續我哋偉大前輩未走完嘅路？
Merci beaucoup.
Knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must
門徒，我哋可唔可以有着堅忍不拔嘅精神，去繼續我哋偉大前輩未走完嘅路？